Hi there, this is John Frenay, and welcome to an Encore presentation of our Legacy Business Spotlight. These are best done in person, and with the current state of emergency restrictions, that's just not possible. So we will be re-releasing our past episodes every Saturday at noon until this pandemic is in our collective rearview mirror. Until then, enjoy this Encore presentation of our Legacy Business Spotlight.
Some businesses succeed, some don't. Then there are those that seem to have been around forever. The true entrepreneurial success story. How did they do it? What was their vision? What makes a success? In this special episode for Eye on Annapolis, we speak with the true success stories. Those business owners that have been around for decades. Learn from their successes and failures. Now, here's host John Frenay.
Well, I'll tell you, if I had died and gone to heaven, I would be in the kitchen of Pat Steaks at 9th and Passyunk in Philadelphia. But if I had my second choice, I'd probably be in the back of a pizza joint. And that's exactly where I am right now with Ray Sears, who is one of the... You are a partner?
I am.
I would say you're not the founder of Papa John's. You don't own that distinction, but you are a partner of the Papa John's franchise, which is basically all over the place down here in Anne Arundel County and sort of southern Maryland as well. Before we got started, you were telling me a little bit of the history of this, and we're at the location in the Annapolis area. You've got three locations. You've got one out on Route 50 out by the Jamal 50 Center.
Yes. You've
got one in Hillsmere, which is right down at Forest and Bay Ridge and Hillsmere and Bay Ridge.
Mm-hmm. And right across from Quiet Waters.
Yep. And then you've got another one over by Best Buy, which is actually, it's right next door to Excellence and Lemongrass.
In between.
You used to have one on West Street, but that closed down, and they're now selling marijuana instead of pizzas. And pizzas and tattoos. So
no more tattoos, no more pizzas.
But how long have you been in the pizza business, and how did you get started?
1987. Graduated college in 88. I drove for a competitor at that time.
We're not going to say Domino's because that might be indiscreet, right?
Yeah. And how did you know it was that? but yes, at that time, a couple of years actually, 86, 87, the latter half of college, and then started here as general manager here at this actual location as Pizza Express at that time. And through some sweat equity, kind of became a partner in there, and little by little that evolved to my father coming along as a partner and different partners and whatnot, and we opened another location across town there over near the Wawa on Bestgate and Admiral.
Yes.
At the McDowell Hall in the basement there at St. John's College. Kind of a coffee shop, snack bar, pizza shop. We had that 4 or 5 years. 2001 ended up selling those. And closing here, selling those, started with Papa John's, became a partner in the just up-and-coming franchise in this area, and just expanded, started with, 1 store to 3 stores, and just started adding, and then we bought the stores up here, and lo and behold, with the landlord move to realign our shopping center here, I ended up back home here at our first shop here.
Where the Pizza Express was originally.
Yeah, Pizza Express to Pizza and Taco Express to Papa John's.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
Now, you said you're part of this group that is mostly Southern Maryland, and you've got a corporate name. Was it Southern Maryland Pizza or something?
CBA Pizza, Chesapeake Bay Area Pizza.
You guys have locations for those, and obviously anybody can listen to this from wherever. We're focused on Anne Arundel County, but where are your other locations besides the 3 that I mentioned here?
In the other counties?
Well, just in your group.
Yeah, Calvert County. We have Chesapeake Beach, Prince Frederick, Solomon's Island, and Dunkirk, Owings. Mm-hmm. In St. Mary's County, we have Leonardtown, Hollywood, and Charlotte Hall.
Wow.
So those 7, and then here, the 3 here in Annapolis.
So you're a pretty busy guy.
Very.
And you've been...
220 team members. 160 of them maybe delivery drivers.
When I got rid of my travel agencies, the best thing in the world was getting rid of employees. I mean, they obviously they make the wheels move.
Absolutely,
but
they're the face.
They're great, and I will say that I do order from Papa John's, and your delivery people, and that I do get deliveries. So I mean, that's my interaction with you because I will order it online. But delivery people are great.
Yeah, we've approached about 70% online ordering. So it used to be where the CSR, the customer service rep, the kind of phone order taker, was the first touch to the customer. But now, pretty much 70% of the first touch to the customer is the delivery driver.
Right.
So they're vitally important to the business. They're the face, the image. They're the thank you and the hello a lot of times. So
Without a doubt. What made you decide to go with Papa John's? Okay, the pizza franchising in general. I mean, obviously, there's the benefits of a franchise are that you've got an established brand, you've got the marks, and they've got the, pardon the pun in the restaurant business, but they've got the recipe.
Sure.
For making their product.
No, it's an A to Z. Follow A to Z. But the reason I think Papa John's, ultimately, because I get asked that a lot, and when I was looking at the time we were selling pizza, I said to my wife once we saw it, I said, "Never going to do pizza again. Never going to do it." And,
how'd that work out for you?
Yeah, how'd that work out? So I still had wife's still around, so she didn't care that much. So that worked out well. It was funny because as an independent, I had to learn. I was the mayor of the community. I was, you had to, between fundraising and donations and hiring, employees, they're people, they're families, and you bring them in as family. And what happened, I had to learn to compete against a Papa John's and the Domino's and the Pizza Huts. There used to be one in Eastport, if you remember.
Right.
Pizza Hut. I had to learn how to compete against them as an independent, as a small guy. Taking that memory or that learning and putting it together with the power of a franchise, if I could marry those two and never forget what it took, just not without a national commercial, without the regional commercials or your sports partnerships, I had to learn how to do the two of them together, and it came an opportunity that was a new franchise was opened up in this area. This is store 196, so if there's 4,000 Papa John's restaurants, this is store 196, so it was one of the first.
One of the very first ones, wow.
They're numerical.
Where was the very first Papa John's,
Jeffersonville, Indiana.
Okay.
Number one.
Did it start out in the Midwest and then migrate east?
It headquarters, even to this day, in Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
However, and I said Louisville, if you notice, not
right.
Louisville.
Right.
However, across the bridge there at Jeffersonville, Indiana, was number one.
Wow.
First store.
Well, you're absolutely right, because in the end result, it doesn't matter whether it's Papa John's or Domino's or Rocco's or whatever it is.
Sure.
I mean, what counts is in that 18 by 18 inch box that shows up at your door that is slid across the counter to you, or perhaps if you're an eat-in type of a place that where you sit down and eat. And that's the thing. And you really seem to have really hit that pretty well. One thing that I love about you is that you've got this franchise, okay? And a lot of people will sit there and say, oh, franchise these big national things. Okay, first of all, I get that. And I typically don't like to support, and we've had this conversation offline, but these local big, huge brands and whatnot. Sure. Okay, but you're the guy that lives down here in Annapolis, okay? Your brother lives here in Annapolis. Every one of your employees lives in the area, okay? You're paying into the state unemployment and all the stuff that goes with. How many employees did you say you had?
Total 220. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a big company, and the only thing national about it is the name and the brand.
The royalties you pay. That's about it. Yeah. It's funny you say that, because what we just have, Small Business Saturday,
right? And
I see the stuff on social medias and whatnot. Support social, don't support the guy for his fifth yacht or his third,
right.
On and on and on. And I think there's still this misconception of some of the franchisees. It's the local guy that just chose a brand, to invest their money, invest their family, invest their time. My wife's a school teacher. My daughter's a school teacher. My son's in college. They all help me. My wife helps, with all their Naval Academy stuff. They help with the fundraising stuff. They help with the donations. So we really are the epitome of a local community location and ownership that just happens to have invested in a franchise.
Well, and again, this is where I'm trying to get out of this, because I've got that mindset of the big box business, okay? And I will use Nordstrom. Okay, Nordstrom, the profits of that company, they don't go anywhere but wherever the hell Nordstrom's headquartered. I think it's in Texas, I think. Yes, they employ local people. Yes, there's some local taxes and there's some spill over there. Best Buy, all the profits go up to Minnesota when they're said and done. Papa John's, the royalties go down into Louisville, but the profits sit there and stay here. And you guys, I'm going to say, are probably one of the most charitable organizations of any kind, and I don't care, pizza or whatever, in Annapolis. And a lot of people don't realize that, okay? You have had this thing, and everybody use this, please, APD Scholar 40.
Correct.
And that's Annapolis Police Department Scholar 40. You can get 40% off your Papa John's pizzas, and you will donate that to the Annapolis Police Department Foundation, which provides scholarships to needy youths in Annapolis.
Sure, and I think third year running. their
It's
program?
it's at least 3 years.
Yeah.
And I get my cheap pizza every time I order. I put APD Scholar 40 because I like a cheap pizza, but I also like to help out the community when I can. And I mean that is huge. I mean, you guys are always giving out little coupons at different things.
You've got achievements to the schools. We have a lot of free little pizza or cheese stick. Numerous, maybe 40 or 50 examples of that. The police scholarship is one.
Yeah. Now is that something that's coming from you and the management and the ownership of this group, or is that something that's coming out of the culture of Papa John's?
Well, it certainly is the culture of Papa John's. We do, and to circle back to the question earlier about why Papa John's is, that's why Papa John's, because they really promote the local community. They promote us to be involved in your communities. I grabbed that by the horns, and I think out of 2012, our franchise was nationally Papa John's. We won the Humanitarian Award. The next year, we won our Local Engagement Award. So I have wonderful GMs and staffs that just buy into that. They buy into the whole, what can we do for our community as we're here? Before you and I met today, I was on the phone call about a sponsored, donated Christmas party that we're going to do for a group here coming up. So
you're kind of like at the top of the Papa John's ecosystem as far as community involvement and charity and giving back to the local community here. I mean, okay, you're not going to blow your own horn here, but yeah, I mean, if you're getting these national awards and whatnot from Papa John's corporate, you are. I laud you for that. I think that's great.
Thank you.
Other things that you see Papa John's around, you see them at the Navy Academy, the Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium, at all the Navy football games, as well as pretty much everything that's happening there. You've got the little trailer that can go at different events and so on and so forth. I love looking at your Facebook page and I don't know how often you do it, but when the Naval Academy calls, I can't, they say we need to feed the midshipmen. Okay, and when you see that phone call coming in, do you look down and go, yes? Or do you go, oh, shit?
I probably in between the two, because you certainly want them. And my guys are very used to that phone call, so they might be doing the same thing when I'm like, hey, I just got a Navy call. They're all the way from 10 pizzas to 4,000 pizzas. I think the answer to that depends on how much notice they're giving me, about that. But with my dad's short time service in the military, and my family and my parents were big in the sponsor program. Mm-hmm. And we probably, my wife and I and kids, have 12 midshipmen we've sponsored in the last couple of years. The Navy's close, near and dear to us. It's part of Annapolis. It's the culture pretty much of Annapolis. So to be aligned with them, it's exciting. The things that we do are exciting with them. And I know a lot of people like watching it on Facebook and seeing all they're like, no way, no you didn't. Who would do that? This can't be right, I'd love to be a fly on the wall and watch us do it.
How the hell do you do 4,000 pizzas? It's not 4,000 pizzas, is it?
Yeah. At the time we just did 3,600 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so
there's 4,400 mids. If it's a medium pizza, they each get one medium to themselves, or then larges they split between two.
Okay, so they let them pig out. Okay, so they're not sharing. They're not sharing pizza. They're not sharing
fruit, water, and a bag of chips.
So how the hell do you produce 4,000 pizzas? I mean, what in general? I mean, what is the process? I mean, we're here in the back of this little store, and this wasn't a very big store.
Oh, this is one of the biggest of ours. This is probably the second largest of our 10 shops, square foot wise.
Right, but how do you produce that much? I mean, now you're not producing pizzas for the Naval Academy down in Dunkirk.
Well, we'll pull from there if we have to. You got to figure if it's going to take this process hour and a half total. Doing it. They're a 45-minute drive. So to cook stuff for 20 minutes there and drive 35 total minutes, it's actually smarter than producing them all here and having them sit around.
Okay. And they're all kept in warming
we have
ovens
the heat
and bags.
Cabinets, cisternos. We have some electric boxes. We have vans with heat table blankets. We have a variety of 2 or 3 vans, trailers. And it's funny that we place in between a set of stores. And it's ready, set, go. We kind of communicate by cell phones or FaceTime, and we're like, all right, got to go. Let's go. Everybody out.
But I imagine you've also probably got a process to feed that many people. I mean, you don't have 4,000 people like wanting their pizzas now. you're going in waves.
Absolutely.
So I mean, as the first line of guys getting his,
they'll get through the line at 7:00. So we'll take a batch, go down with the batch.
So as your first guy's taking his pizza at wherever you're serving him on the academy, the last guy in line, Mr. Zimmerman, his pizza's just going in the oven.
Yeah. So they call it rolling tray at the academy. So it's kind of a rolling tray process as they're going. So
how many times a year do they do that?
Once every 6 weeks, I think.
Wow.
But the average order is probably 75 to 100 pizzas. The one they'll start working on here now is 75. And that takes us 20 minutes.
I feel woefully inadequate when I just order them like my sausage and green pepper. I mean, it's like, just one? Yes, that's all I want.
Yeah, so we had to buy a little fleet, vans and trailers, and, it's nice that it's a contract, so you'll sit there and... you invest in that.
Right.
So.
You do a number of things with the academy. I mean, obviously you're an approved, I don't know whether it's caterer or whatever, but vendor for the, for the yard as well as there. I know you're down there during Blue Angel Day. You've got the van.
Yeah, they have several. They have each food category, from, Chick-fil-A, Mission Barbecue, us, it's a variety. There's probably 20 different vendors here in Annapolis.
Right. Another thing I want to point out to people that are listening, this was the Eastport Neighborhood Forum, which is always a great place to go for drama in Annapolis.
Or to ask what a helicopter is doing above you.
Or whatever.
Whose dog's walking down the street.
There was a couple weeks ago, there was somebody that went on to bitch about Domino's pizza. And we'll throw them under the bus. I mean, the pizza looked like crap. It was
obviously
all slid off the
fell
time.
off a dryer, I guess.
And it happens. But they were mad. And, of course, like when somebody's down, everybody jumps on and kicks them. And, and they went on and everything else. And the people that had it were like, I want to know that, it was just like a pack of dogs speeding. And you came in here, okay, just sort of observing this, okay? You're as the competitor or whatever, and you went to the original poster and you said, hey, dude, where do you live? I'll get a pizza to you. Inside of 30 minutes or so, because you do live locally, I mean, you live right down the road, came up here, or probably called up here and said, hey, throw a cheese pie, double cheese, or whatever the heck it was. I'll be up and I'm going to grab it, and that nobody tells the boss no, so they make the pie.
I was sitting at the dining room, at our kitchen table. We were having dinner with the family, and probably doing what I shouldn't do, sitting there playing on Facebook, during dinner. Right. And I sat there, and I read this, and I showed my son. I was like, look at this pizza. People started barraging the poor lady and guy that posted this. Like, why are you this and that and this? And ultimately they said, look, I just can't shell out to get another pizza. They're not replacing it, this and that. And I actually wasn't there like, let me respond and promote Papa John's. I said, you know what? 'Tis the season, be nice,
Sure.
So I sat there and said, I'm 10 minutes away from where this person probably lives. And you're right, I just called the shop. I didn't know if it was thin crust or extra or regular crust because the pizza was so mangled in the picture.
Right.
So I just said, give me a cheese and a thin crust and a regular.
Right.
I'll just bring them two. Boy, did it just snowball from there with the comments and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, I certainly hope you're $20 worth of pizzas or $25 worth of pizzas earned you some business, because you certainly went above and beyond that.
Well, even if it didn't, it showed to my kids. My kids were right there, even though they're older, and it gave me a good feeling when I left from delivering herself that how grateful they were. So that's a $25 lesson in itself.
I agree. I mean, you don't do it for the promotion, but it does show exactly the type of people that are working here.
Sure.
Which I think is...
no questions asked by these guys. They were all like, can we hurry, all right, we're going to have it ready before you get here. And I'm like, I'm going to be there in like 3 minutes.
Okay.
The oven takes 5 minutes. You're not going to beat me.
Right.
But they were, they're on board with that. That's why, the guys and girls that work for me are fabulous. I'm blessed by that because they've bought in on community and people. And if they're not, sometimes it gets tough. You get busy, you get behind. You're making 200 pizzas in an hour sometimes on Fridays, and it's it's hard. It's hard work. You're dirty, or pizza flying everywhere, flour going everywhere, sauce going, and you leave at the end of the day and go, hey, that was fun.
In some sick, demented kind of a way, but it was. Not a couple months ago, probably about a year ago, I guess. Your founder got into some trouble.
About a year and a half.
with some language that he had used. I don't remember exactly where it was, because this is the world of the internet where yesterday's news is forgotten.
Sure.
But I know that he was pretty much forced out as a founder, and most recently he's been in the news saying that he ate like 30 pizzas or 40 pizzas in 30 days, and it's not
30 days. I saw that too.
It's not quite the same flavor as before. But
we haven't changed anything. So that's funny.
But John Schnatter. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he said some fairly reprehensible things.
Yeah, it's off color. Yeah.
That he lost the naming rights on his name off of a stadium.
I think that's right there in Louisville, where he lives right outside of there.
Yeah.
He grew up there.
Yeah, and it was the Schnatter Memorial Stadium and whatnot. Did that have any fallout locally on any of the franchisees?
Well, great question. I guess because that's everywhere you go. I wear my logo every day, all day, and did all through that because I have.
Do you have Papa John's underwear?
I have Papa John's socks.
Okay.
Right? I don't have Papa John's underwear. I do have Papa John's socks, undershirts, probably everything except underwear. So the beauty is people know my face here, my name, and I think overall that told the story the most of like, look, I'm just the local franchise guy. I had nothing to do with that. And there was a little fallout in, I think, more urban areas in cities. I think more with Southern Maryland and Navy and Annapolis and everybody here, they know even though it says Papa John's, it's Ray's shops or Wes's shop partner down south. They're ingrained in their community. My partner down south, that's where he lives in those shops. So we weathered, if you will, the storm well, and I think everybody appreciates what I've done for them, what the staff has done, and our outlook on everything. So, I think that was the biggest thing. One of my employees came up to me one day and he said, "Hey, I was in Safeway today." So it was this store over at Housley, and he said, "I went over there to get something to eat." On their break, and they can't have pizza every day, right?
Right.
And he had his logo on, and somebody in line pointed to him and said, "I can't believe you work for them." Pointed to Papa John's.
Right.
And he goes, "You don't know what this company's done for me. I started here when I was 14. I'm 31, and I have a family, a job, and I don't work for them." And he pointed at the logo. He goes, "I work for Ray Sears." So I think, and that made me feel great.
Sure.
And he came back and said, "Oh, man, I was going to ring the guys." I was like, "Just take the high road," and we talked about it, and, and I thanked them, and, I think if you're good to your people, they'll be loyal.
So, I mean, it didn't really have a huge impact on you as far as the thing because of your reputation here in the local community of what you've given back. And it's here in Annapolis. It's down there in Southern Maryland, because
sure.
It's not here because it's down there. It's across the South River Bridge. It's like might as well be in Montana.
Yeah, God's country or something, as they self-proclaim.
You do so much, again, for the community. What do you ever say no? I mean, how does that?
Well, there's always, of course, limits. However, not really. My wife plays with me a lot of times and says, "Do you know how to say no?" And I was like, "Well, we always do with these with my staff."
And you say yes.
How do you tell somebody you can't or no, but say yes at the same time? So there's always some medium of something we can do, but I think the biggest thing is people hesitate to ask sometimes, or they're too proud or too shy, or they think they've tapped the well too many times or something. However, I really, really believe if you want to be in a community and expect the community to support you, it's a two-way street. I'm not here to grab dollar bills and run. I'm here to be part of the community. I grew up here. My dad kind of instilled with us through all his charity works and the nights, as you know, and other things about giving back. And you can be a business person in a neighborhood, and your success will come from the relationships you have in the community. So I hope people ask.
Well, aside from just me calling up saying, "Hey, Ray, I want a free pizza."
Right. That might not work. All right, John, we'll have the mambo chicken.
But what I mean, if you are working on a on a fundraising program or something like that, I mean, say if all of a sudden I've got a great charity that I'm running that I would like to have a discount code or something like that. How would I get in touch with? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
CBApizza@gmail.com, as in our franchise, Chesapeake Bay Area Pizza. So CBApizza@gmail.com, or a message through our Facebook page. And a lot of them come through the Facebook page because they see, "Hey, what about us?" Or, "Hey, how can I do this?" And then I think they're surprised by that time. I'll call Jenny, who does a lot of our marketing with me, and then bang, we're to them quicker than they finish typing it. And I think that, the quick response there shows like, "Hey, yeah, we're here to help. We're here to be part of your school, church."
What else do we need to know about Papa John's?
Well, I think it's always, you hear the better ingredients, better pizza. We really
That sounds like it could be a tagline somewhere.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's that they call it, BIPP is what we call it for short, as an acronym. We really take that time, and we grade our pizzas. We secret shop our pizzas. We really take the feedback, positive or negative. If you notice, I leave it on Facebook if there's something negative. We always say, if something negative happened, let's make it into a positive. Let's make it a win. So it's an opportunity for us to do better. And I know we use the word better a lot. We really work on our guys to make it better. Let's be better than the competition. Let's be better than yesterday. Let's be better tomorrow. And it is, 6 important letters to us when we talk about better. If there's ever a time, I want to hear the feedback. I want to hear the compliments. I share them with all of our guys. We're on a group me together. I have all of our upper level management and all the management. We have in a group me. I share all the wins. I share all the negatives. My kids, wherever they're eating pizza, they're sending me pictures, competitors and theirs. We have contests here. So we are always looking for good people. Now, it's a very transient business, the pizza industry. We have the whole introduction now of like the DoorDashes and the third-party aggregators. So that's an interesting new mix in the whole thing, that we have a lot of people that order from DoorDash from us. So we go through a little bit now, like, well, they don't come in uniforms. Do people care about our uniforms? Because they're ordering DoorDash. Right. And, so it's a whole new interesting phenomenon of these third-party aggregators, Uber Eats, Postmates, Grubhub. We do a fair amount of them, and we have our own delivery service. So I think you got to fill a little bit of that employment void a bit and using them. So
you mentioned that you can't eat pizza every day. What do you eat when you don't eat pizza?
Myself?
Yeah.
I am a pizza. Trying to cut back in those carbs, though, and the...
Damn, you're in the wrong business,
man.
Isn't
it? Well, you can have cheese and meats and proteins.
You should open like Salad Works or something.
Yeah. I've always been a fan of pizza. We had our Papa John's regional meeting up in Philly 2 weeks ago, and I was sitting there like, I got to try that Brothers Pizza, or, the Lorenzo Brothers, I think it is, and a couple others, which I did. So I've always been a pizza eater. But to answer that, opposite that, I think I'm a good old fat cheeseburger guy.
That'll work. I do agree with you. I think that pizza and cheesesteaks are probably two of the world's most perfect foods.
Earlier you said Pat's?
Yeah, Pat's in Philly. You should have stopped up there.
No, I'm a Geno's guy.
See, okay, let's end this. All right.
Yeah. Actually, somebody told me something about an Anthony's or something.
There's a number of them that are good. They're all very good, and everybody has their own little things. And people will yell at me because Pat's is touristy and whatnot.
Well, they say the Pat's and Geno's, and you get the list from all your Philadelphian friends that are like, you got to go here and here and here.
I can rattle off about 5 or 6 that are decent. I mean, D'Alessandro's
I've heard that. Yeah.
Is very good.
Lots about the bread too.
Yeah,
I find a lot of the meats there are similar.
Yeah,
but then the handling and we have subs in Test Market. So the secret's out, but we're going to be probably starting something called a papadilla. It's kind of a handheld sandwich.
Okay,
we kind of found that a lot of people eat in their cars or this, and pizza's not so conducive to doing so.
Well, it's like Taco Bell drive-thrus. I never go through there. Because, how the hell do you eat a Taco Bell or a burrito while you're driving?
Exactly. I saw something that said that taco food, most accidents driven are due to tacos. Didn't say Taco Bell, but taco. Can you imagine? So pizza, I guess you could do a cheese pizza sitting in. We, of course, promote safety everywhere.
Right.
And no distracted driving. However, the papadillas come out in February here, and... they're pretty good. I've tried them, but our sandwiches are in test. Are you a hoagie guy or a torpedo guy or a submarine guy, whatever they're, across the country, the different names for them are. So I'll call them subs. And the test markets, they've done well. And my son goes to York College, and they're in the test market area. Mm-hmm. He swears to that Philly cheesesteak there as much as like a Pat's or Geno's from the Papa John's. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, Emery. So I went to help move him in this last semester, and I went to one of the stores and tested, and it was delicious. So I hope the test markets
when they come back, I'm going to call you out on that. I want to test it out and let you know where it was.
We'll have to have a taste test of those.
It's right. Any future expansions for your group? Are you guys looking to move?
Well, Maryland's
open up ones
full
in Europe or something?
Well, that is the most expanding. The Asian market, European market.
Oh, I'm sure.
However, my little old Annapolis pockets might just keep me in hometown Annapolis and surroundings. But Maryland is, for the most part, I think, full. for franchise.
Okay, so they do protect your
franchising.
area and whatnot. I mean, they're not going to...
Except if it's a non-trad, a non-traditional one, if it's a gas station, a food court, or something like that. So if someone were to ever, want to open up in Annapolis
Bancroft
Mall
Hall or something like that.
Or Bancroft Hall,
Right.
Hopefully that would be able to be me if that was the case. But we'd have the first rights, to that. And if we elected not to, then you could go open one. You could open one in there. But as far as a traditional standing inline traditional unit, they protect your area. It's not like some other franchises coffee that you might get every two corners or something like that.
Right.
So.
What is the most popular pizza that you guys make? And tell me I'm right, pepperoni?
You mean by topping?
Yeah.
Is pepperoni by far. 75% of the pizzas in a mix or by itself.
Okay.
Probably the most popular specialty pizza is the meats pizza. Relatively generic for a specialty pizza, but the buffalo chicken is very popular. Okay. So when you get into those other specialties, the Hawaiians and that whole is pineapple a topping.
Yeah, okay, here, let me ask you.
It's the fifth most popular topping, so out of 20 of them, so it's got to be a topping. We have shirts that say pineapple is a topping.
What's your opinion?
I think it's delicious.
Ugh.
Oh, sorry, John.
Geno's and pineapple.
well, maybe not pineapple by itself, but pineapple, Canadian bacon, pineapple ham, pineapple bacon. We get some weird combinations. We only do about 1 or 2 anchovies a day.
Now, do you guys do the mambo sauce here?
We do.
Okay, and that's a
great
DC
story.
thing.
That came on the heels of the whole John Schnatter thing that you asked. So, unfortunately, that's co-owner, a husband and wife of the Capital City Mambo. He just passed away, a heart attack. It was terrible, young, 4 boys, etc. But his wife, Arsh, is keeping the business going. They're fabulous people. Man, if you haven't tasted the Capital City Mambo, even if you don't get it here on our wings or our pizza, you grab it at a grocery store. It's good stuff. And they have a mild and a spicy, but we have a Mambo chicken pizza. They love it down at the Naval Academy. We do a fair amount of the specialty pizzas or Mambo and the Mambo wings at the Academy.
I've not tried it. That might be on my list for the next.
Maybe we can do that on the way out of here.
Next time around.
Yeah, so it's become a very popular local flavor. We did it with the Old Bay, and I guess it's got roots in D.C.
Sure.
Were the main roots.
Yeah, that's what I had heard.
And there's the whole Mumbo and Mambo.
And
I guess it's officially Mumbo sauce, but when the Joneses started to start their company, I guess they couldn't call it Mumbo sauce. So they said, a friend said, just call it Mambo sauce and keep doing what you're doing. And they did.
It is.
And here they're almost now in every grocery store. But they live locally also. They live up in Arnold. Pendennis, right past Pendennis.
Who knew that?
Down near Cantlers.
Who knew? Again, papajohns.com will get you your favorite pizza. The website's real easy to order. You can save your favorites. You can save all your information, your credit card. You just got to put that little 3-digit code in at the end. And
lots of stuff on Facebook, contests.
Yeah, you can leave a tip.
Chesapeake Bay Area Pizza.
Yeah, you can leave a tip on the on the website too. So I mean, it's really a cash-free type thing. They come to your door.
Papa Rewards is big.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my goodness, we have all the 50% off sports activation days, Caps, Wizards, etc. Ravens.
Right.
Well, today's a big Ravens day, and Redskins, believe it or not. Finally,
right.
Finally. But we have that topping for touchdowns and the 50% off. So those are always big days. We have people come in they'll get 100, 150 wings just because it's a 50% off. So then they freeze them or put them in their fridge. And so we always have to, it's hard because you don't know if they win or lose,
Right.
So then you got to order all this product. You have to have the product
That's
around.
true.
So, so it's growing and growing that it's an aggressive, let's reward our most loyal customers and thank them. So that's a great way to get free stuff.
Good deal. Ray Sears, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Again, papajohns.com, or follow them on Facebook. Now, what's the Facebook address?
It's the franchise name, just Papa John's. It's at Papa John's MD if you just went through the ad, but if not, it's Chesapeake Bay Area Pizza. So Chesapeake Bay Area Pizza.
Okay, and that is Annapolis. That's down in southern Maryland, in Dunkirk, and St. Mary's, and Calvert County, and whatnot there. Local company doing lots of local good. Save 40% off of all of your orders all the time. Use APD Scholar 40.
Scholar singular. APD Scholar 40. Yep. It's a good program here. I started that with Lieutenant Krause.
Yes. Yep.
And,
Lieutenant Krause is great.
And we've grown it each year. So
And it is a fantastic program. And again, it's really sort of, I think, indicative of what you're all about. I mean, it's giving back to the community. You're focusing on some of the people that are the most needy in our community that may not be able to afford to go to college, that, when they're able to get a scholarship, it's huge.
And we get to meet some of the recipients. And that's kind of neat, sit around and talk to them and Annapolitans.
Yeah.
I grew up in Admiral Heights. Dewey Drive before we moved over down here in the peninsula, this neck of the woods. So it's funny seeing a lot of the names, the last names. You're like, wait a second, are you related to?
Sure.
It's a neat,
fantastic.
So over Admiral, I remember going to the Navy games when you could peek in the fence as a kid down the hill on your bike and watch the games.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations on your years and years and years in the pizza business and the growth of your group.
Absolutely.
And keep it up.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this special podcast for Ion Annapolis. Please be sure to visit ionannapolis.net for all your local news, events, and opinions. And in case you haven't already, please subscribe to the Ion Annapolis Daily News Brief, where we bring you your local news direct to your phone or tablet every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Subscribe on iTunes or Google Play.